going on, guys? This is Esquilo here and welcome back to another Wi-Fi battle for Pokemon Sun and Moon. This is my second Wi-Fi battle on the channel, so if you're hyped, hit that like button because I will be bringing a lot more of these battles. So as you guys can see, in my team I have a Necrozma. I don't know why I gotta say it like this, Necrozma. Then we have our Toxapex, a Lone Executor, a Lone Marowak. We have Tapu Bulu, and we have my favorite 7th gen Pokemon, Komala. My opponent Shadowthorn right here, he has a Greninja, he has Passimian, which looks so cool. I love his design. It has Tapu Lele, Tapu Koko, Magirna, and a Mega Pinsir. My team is a semi-trick room, but it depends a lot of trick room if I want to guarantee my win, because as soon as I get trick room up, I basically guarantee my win. But he does have a Mega Pinsir, and as you guys can see, my switching into Mega Pinsir is none. So he has that one Pokemon that actually just runs through my team, so that is kind of scary. So what I'm gonna do right here is I have one lead, and that lead is Necrozma, because it's the one Pokemon that I have Stealth Rocks on. I can just go for Stealth Rocks and then just go for a Psychic on something. So he's gonna issue a challenge. Also, I'll leave his Twitter link in the description as well as his YouTube channel, because he does have a YouTube channel, so make sure you guys check it out because he does a lot of Wi-Fi battles. So he's gonna start off with his Blue Kermit, the Greninja, and right now I have nothing to hit this guy, but Necrozma has an ability that it doesn't take like full damage from super effective hits, which means I could leave, excuse me, a Dark Pulse 100% of the time, and I could just go for my Stealth Rocks here, and at this point I'm just gonna go into my Komala because I kind of want to save my Necrozma, just on the off chance I can still use him for to go for a Trick Room later on in the game, and I don't want to give this Greninja the Battle Bond ability, or else it would probably be unstoppable at that point. So he's gonna go for another Dark Pulse, and as you guys can see, Komala eats it up. It doesn't really hit that up that well, but it hits nicely, you know, because it does have some nice play. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go for the U-turn, because it probably kills this Greninja after one more life orb, but he actually goes for his own U-turn. It deals a lot of damage because I'm more special offensive than defensive, and I'm actually gonna get switch initiative right here. So he's gonna bring in his Steam Puck, which is gonna be the Magirna, and Magirna is actually a really interesting Pokemon. It's not that fast, but it hits so hard, but it has access to shift gear, so I'm glad I did go for the U-turn here, because that would be a free shift gear for him. I do pack the Earthquake, but I don't think Earthquake would be enough to take out this thing. So this means I can bring in my Marowak right here, and I can just go for a Boomerang, because he has nothing that so far he has nothing that is immune to ground moves. He won't be bringing a Pinsir against me, because Pinsir, first of all, it can kill Marowak from full, and second of all, I would just kill that Pinsir with the Shadow Bone after I go for Boomerang, because I am Thick Club, so that would be more than enough to kill the Pinsir. I do get a crit on the Green, not that really matter because Boomerang will leave it twice. So at this point I am up 6 to 5, and he brings in his Passimian. I don't know what this thing does. I know it's fighting type, so I was looking at his moveset, and I thought that he might go for like a dark move or something like that. So I just went to my Poison Ivy, which is my Toxapex, but he actually goes for the Earthquake, so it makes kind of sense that this thing also gets Earthquake. So I wasn't really expecting that, because as you guys know, this is like the first time I'm actually facing a Passimian, so this is all a learning experience. So now that I know that Passimian gets Earthquake, so I gotta be more careful when switching in my Toxapex on those things. So I know I can leave another one. I'm just gonna go for Recover, and this is just so I can show him that I can beat him 1v1 with Recover and Black Sludge, because Earthquake doesn't do much. It's not a 2-hit kill, so I can always recover more than he's doing to me. I can just go for Scald and beat him. So I know here that he's gonna switch out. I don't really know what he's going to switch out into. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna go for a Toxic Spikes, because he doesn't have nothing to remove these Arts. And the Toxic Spikes can really help against the likes of Tapu Lele and the Pinsir to wear them down, so they don't stay on the field for too long. So I'm just gonna go for the Toxic Spikes right here. And right now I'm looking at Magirna, and I'm like, I have Haze, so if you want to set up, go ahead. I can just haze you the next turn, so I'm just gonna go for, I think I'll go for a Scald right here, as he just full switch right out, and it does a lot of damage. I was not expecting Magirna to have Volt Switch, to be honest. I am completely honest right here, because usually what I see is them having Shift Gear with the Z move and what's the move that Flare Cannon or something? That move that Magirna gets that lowers his special attack. But Magirna also has that ability that if he gets a KO, it also gets a special attack boost. So he brings in his Tapu Koko as I go for the Scald, and this Scald actually does a lot of damage on Tapu Koko, mainly because Tapu Koko is not that bulky. So this does some nice damage. So I got a perfect switch in into this Tapu Koko, and that is my Alolan Marowak. So I switch out of here faster than Usain Bolt, and I go straight into my Bonum, the Marowak, because I have the Lightning Rock and I resist Fairy. I'm immune to Electric, so there's nothing that this Tapu Koko can really do to me. But he turns out to be physical, and physical sets on Tapu Koko usually they have Brave Bird, so he does pack the Brave Bird as well, and that is actually gonna hurt like a lot. Mainly because I'm more offensive Marowak instead of a more bulky set. Mainly because I do prefer the bulky set, but on this Trick Room team that I made, I thought that maybe offensive Marowak would be the best. I just go for the Bone Rush because he has no switchings for it. Greninja is already dead, so he has nothing that resists that. He could go into Magirna, and after Stealth Rocks, I think Bone Rush, not Bone Rush, this move, Shadow Bone, would probably be enough to take it out with the Thick Club since I'm max attack. But he goes into Pinsir, and at this point I'm like, oh my god, if he sets up I lose, so I gotta stay in and go for the Flare Blitz just to kill this guy. But unfortunately for me, he doesn't set up just yet, and he goes for the Earthquake. And at this point, I am like, I lost the game because Tapu Bulu doesn't take a return. Komala is low on health, so it doesn't take a return or even a quick attack at this point. Executor definitely dies to a return. And Poison Ivy, my Toxapex, is super low on health. So what I'm gonna do here is I wanna make him take as much poison damage as possible. So I'm gonna go into my Necrozma. I just went for a Psychic just on the off. Actually, no, I think I went for a Psychic, or was a Trick Room. I think I just went for Psychic just because this thing is a threat, and this thing gotta go. But Pinsir is taking that poison damage, and now here I'm gonna go into my Toxapex, and I am gonna hope that he doesn't have Sword Dance, and I'm gonna go into Kuma because at this point it doesn't really do much anymore. So I'm like, please don't have Sword Dance and just attack me and just die as soon as possible. But he does have the Sword Dance, and at this point it's gonna be a sucking game. I gotta figure out what I need to win the game, and at this point Tapu Bulu is looking like the best thing I have to beat these guys because I have a Choice Banded, and Choice Banded Tapu Bulu is the same thing that even if I have a Magirna like him, it's the same thing that you have like no counters or no checks for it because everything is gonna die or he's gonna get to hit KO'd. So he's gonna kill my Komala the next turn, but the toxic damage is racking up, and that is pretty nice. So I'm gonna go into my Poison Ivy, and I know that the Earthquake is coming, so I am going to switch out into my Lone Executor. I think that maybe Return would have probably taken me out because he was already +2. But luckily for me, he did go for the Earthquake. He didn't want to take any risks, and that means that I will actually be able to stall out this Pinsir because he will be taking a lot more poison. He's gonna take poison damage here. He's gonna take more poison damage the next turn because of he's gotta take out my Alone Executor. I think I need to go for a Dragon Hammer right here. Just because even if I go for Trick Room, there is no point because this guy has quick attack, so he could just kill me easily. But unfortunately for me, he doesn't quite die, and I do gotta sack my Poison Ivy right here, which is very unfortunate because had Pinsir gone down right here, I would have like a much bigger chance of winning this game. But at this point, I gotta rely on my Tapu Bulu, and luckily for me, Pinsir is gonna go down, and depending on what he brings, if he brings in Tapu Lele, since Tapu Lele is faster than me, actually the terrain that will stay on the field will be mine, so that is pretty nice. So I'm gonna go into my Tapu Bulu. It's the only Pokemon I have. He has this Passimian, he has the Magirna, and he has Tapu Lele. If he stays in with Passimian and attacks me, I leave anyone hit, and I can kill him with the Horn Leech. If he goes into Magirna, he gets to hit KO by Horn Leech. If he goes into his Tapu Lele, I have a chance of killing it. So my play here is go for the Horn Leech. And he switch out, he goes into his Magirna Ashley, and just look at this damage. Even after Stealth Rocks, I think that even if he didn't take those Stealth Rocks, it would have still been a 2-hit kill. Just look at this damage. This is damage. This is a Horn Leech, and this is not a wood hammer, this is a Horn Leech actually. So even after those, the health that he gets back from my Misty Terrain or my Grassy Terrain, it is still not enough to leave my Horn Leech, and I'm here, I'm at full health, and his only way to kill me now is if he's a Specs Tapu Lele. I do not speed Tapu Lele because Tapu Lele has base 95 as when Tapu Bulu has base 70, but if he's not Specs, he doesn't kill me. I 100% leave a Psychic or a Side Shock, but if he Specs, he kills me. So easy Specs, easy Scarf, easy AV leftover something. He goes for Psychic, my Tapu Bulu takes it, and it leaves on 3 HP, which means that he is not Specs. I go for my Horn Leech, and I don't kill it. I don't kill the Tapu Lele, unfortunately. But he dies to poison, and at this point, it's like, does Passimian have any move that can kill my Tapu Bulu? Because I'm adamant, I'm not sure, even if he's adamant, he'll still outspeed, because I think Passimian has base 80, so he brings out his Passimian, what move is he gonna go for? Does he have Poison Jump? He doesn't, but he does have the Iron Head, and that will be game. That was a very, very close game. Thank you for the battle, Shadowthorn. I was forgetting the second part of the name, but thank you for the battle, Shadowthorn. I'll definitely link his Twitter link and his YouTube link in the description, so make sure you check him out because he does a lot of Wi-Fi battles. But this was a very close battle, and that was a fun battle. I really didn't know what Passimian did, so that was nice to see what kind of set people run on Passimian. I think it was Scarf. I'm not entirely sure because that damage was not banded. And since he only basically went just for one move every time he was in, and since he predicted my... He didn't really predict my Toxapex, he just went for the Earthquake to try and kill the Marowak. But I think he was Choice Scarf, so that was pretty cool to see Passimian. But that Mega Pinsir was what completely ruined me. He had that one Pokemon that completely destroyed my team. I would probably prefer that he had a Femorosa instead of Mega Pinsir in this battle, to be honest. But this will be all for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will be catching you guys next time. So peace!